coming at you live from the sunny beaches of with reporter Crab Rangoon, Larry with the weather, and news anchor a crab named Heller. It's the CR43 News.
Good afternoon, folks. I'm news anchor a crab named Heller. I hope you all had a relaxing weekend. I know I have. Before we get into the news, let's check in with our weather prawn, Larry. Larry, what can we expect to see this coming week? Alright, thanks, Larry. Now, folks, we will be having a very special interview with a very special individual. But first things first. Earlier today, the nominations for Game of the Year have been revealed, and to everyone's surprise, one of the nominees is Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Rejoice, Monolith fans, as it seems the Game Awards finally remembered this franchise exists. In other news, PlayStation fanboys are seemingly baffled at people enjoying Vampire Survivors, a small indie game that won over the hearts of those who have played it earlier this year, even though they had just had a brand new exclusive released last week. But as we all know, PlayStation fanboys don't play games, they play Twitter. Now, before we get to the interview, let us check in with reporter Crab Rangoon in the main streets of Crab?
I got the new spicy chicken sandwich.
Oh. Well, moving right along, then, let us get to the interview with local moron Rome Rush started. So, Mr. Rush, you are here today because you believe Xbox fanboys are pathetically begging for the Activision deal. So, before we get started, I have to point out that if it's pathetic for Xbox fanboys to be begging for the deal to go through, then you have to agree it's equally pathetic to beg for the deal to not go through, yes? Mr. Rush, are you there? You don't seem to be talking.
What's up, YouTube? This video was not planned. None of my videos are planned, actually, now that I think about it. But this was a video that I definitely had to speak on.
You know, I find it interesting that you have to say your videos aren't planned as if we couldn't already tell, Mr. Rush, but please do continue.
The behavior that I'm seeing from these Xbox fanboys is crazy. Crazy.
Really? I'm sorry, but I have to ask, what behavior exactly are you referring to, Mr. Rush? I mean, I assume you have receipts to back up what you're saying, yes?
No. To me, there's nothing wrong with being a fanboy.
Oh wait, you were serious?
It's the behavior that's the problem. You could be a fan or a fanboy or whatever, but be rational.
Actually, no. You can't be a fanboy and be rational, Rome. That's what we call an oxymoron. A fan is someone who goes, boy, I sure do enjoy these PlayStation games. A fanboy is someone who goes, PlayStation is the best place to play it, and if you play anything else, you are an idiot. You better not say anything bad about them. Does that remind you of anyone, Rome? Does it perhaps remind you of a certain do-rag wearing, shitty beard growing, abysmal video recording, lobotomized moron?
Be rational.
Mr. Rome, I'm sorry. I realize it takes a lot of energy for you to conjure up any kind of thought, but you have to stop pausing for so long. It's not enjoyable for me, and it sure as hell ain't enjoyable for the audience. So please, let's just go a little faster, okay, little guy?
Okay, so what triggered this video is I seen an Xbox fanboy write out a letter to the CMA considering, for them to consider the Activision deal.
Yeah, that's pretty pathetic, I'm not gonna lie, but remind me what PlayStation fanboys did when the deal was announced again? Stones in glass houses, Mr. Rome.
For Xbox to, for them to approve the Activision deal. Do you know how crazy that is?
Yeah, it's just as crazy as PlayStation fanboys writing letters requesting the deal be stopped. Oh, but you won't talk about that, would you, Mr. Rush? But I don't know what I expected from the guy who said women who console war are hotter.
What makes this so crazy is that they already have these Activision games. They already have Call of Duty.
Mr. Rush, for the love of God, if you can't stop with these unnecessary pauses, I'm going to have to cut them out myself. Jesus, man, do you not know what pacing is?
On their console. It's not like they don't have it and they're fighting for the game to come to their platform.
Jesus Christ, man. Jesus goddamn Christ. Okay, I'm just going to cut out all the pauses going forward because holy crap, this man actually cannot speak in a fluid manner.
But they already have it. So you're really fighting for the game to be removed from the competing platform that you have access to. It's not like you don't have access to the game. If there's games that you want on a platform that you don't own, you just buy the platform.
So if the deal goes through and Microsoft decides to make COD exclusive and you want to play COD, just buy the platform, Rome. Just buy an Xbox. No issue, right? I mean, that's your stance after all.
How hard is that? What's the issue? Oh, because you don't prefer to play on the on a platform that you don't like. What's going on here? So you know what that tells me? That tells me it's not about the games. It's about the relevance. That's what it's all about. That's all it's about.
Xbox doesn't need the deal to be relevant, my dude. How often are people talking about Game Pass? Hell, let's go further. How many tweets have you fanboys made talking about Game Pass and Xbox in any capacity? You guys talk about Xbox so much that you don't realize that you are the guys who keep Xbox relevant. I've seen Game Pass trending on Twitter numerous times this year. I can't say the same for PlayStation Premium. You guys really just say whatever comes to mind with 0 ounce of critical thinking, huh?
Whether it's you investing in a platform and wanting it to be relevant or your identity.
Okay, no, it's time to put this retarded mindset to rest. Buying a console does not make you an investor. It makes you a consumer. Full stop. You don't get a stake in the company for purchasing a console, nor do you get stocks that you can sell for money. The idea that buying a console is the same as investing in a company is so astronomically wrong, it's no wonder none of you fanboys aren't in charge of any businesses. And if you consider owning a console a part of your identity, I have nothing to say except I genuinely pity you. And that goes for you too, Rome. You may not admit it, but you do consider being a PlayStation fanboy a part of your identity. Which is just really, really sad and pathetic.
Your social presence or whatever, or your social media presence, your YouTube channel depends on the relevance of your preferred platform.
So what does that make you then, Rome? Why do you keep staring at the camera like you just did some sort of gotcha? If they aren't relevant, then why are you talking about them? My dude, I have never seen anyone own themselves so hard in my life. What are you doing, Rome?
Either way, it's pathetic. It's pathetic. It's pathetic, man.
You want to know what's really pathetic, Rome? Tweeting government bodies to stop the deal, doxing patients, sending dick pics to developers, simping for catfish accounts, which, if I recall correctly, you did. You did that, Rome. Like I said earlier, if you think it's pathetic to send a letter to keep the deal going, then you have to admit that sending letters to get it stopped is equally pathetic. But as we all know, you're a mindless hypocrite when it comes to Sony. Exclusive deals are bad! Unless PlayStation does it. Studio buyouts are bad! Unless PlayStation does it. Subscription services are bad! Unless PlayStation does it. You want to simp for PlayStation, go ahead, but don't patronize me by pretending you're for the gamers and the people while you're busy giving your favorite corporation a sloppy toppy.
There's nothing wrong with being a fanboy, but it's something wrong with trash behavior. Trash behavior. If I don't have a problem supporting $70 games because I see the value in a game, no matter what the cost is, that's on me.
You know what? Let's test that resolve of yours, Rome. $70 is still too cheap. Let's have the next COD be $80. Or how about Spider-Man 2 at $100? You know what? Fuck it. Last of Us multiplayer? Let's make that an even $120 because it's totally worth the price the publishers say it is, right? Let me ask you something, Rome. Do you honestly believe that the extra $10 is going into the future studios' games? Do you really think it's not just extra money the executives are pocketing? Are you really that naive at your age? Because I'm fairly certain I am younger than you are, and yet you seem like you haven't grown out of your high school mentality. That extra $10 isn't doing shit. And you want to know how I know? Because almost every single $70 game, apart from Rift Apart, Returnal, and The Last of Us Part 1, they are all cross-gen games. God of War Ragnarok is a cross-gen game. Horizon Forbidden West is a cross-gen game. Modern Warfare 2 is a cross-gen game. Gotham Knights was going to be a cross-gen game, which means none of these games have any mechanics that the last-gen consoles can't run. So you're essentially paying for graphics options. That's what you're paying for, Rome. You are paying for the ability to utilize your console's power to its fullest. How you think that isn't a problem just showcases your utter incompetence at evaluating the reality of the situation.
And I ain't trying to convince nobody.
You know, it's funny you say that, Rome, because before we continue down this rabbit hole of idiocy, I just have one question. Is this you? And I quote, "Me actively talking someone out of getting an Xbox. He'll thank me later. I'm doing the Lord's work, saving one victim at a time."
What is wrong with you? No, seriously. What the fuck is actually wrong with you?
So, you aren't trying to convince nobody to buy $70 games, but you will convince people to buy the platform that's fucking popularizing the $70 trend. I honestly don't know what's more pathetic. You thinking you're doing the Lord's work by convincing someone not to get an Xbox? Or the idiot who actually fucking listened to you? Then again, your ego is so massive. You actually had the audacity to go on Jordan CSNO's video on you and say he needs to pay you the money he made on the video.
What? 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 What?
So you know what? I think you edge out the other guy here. And actually, you know what, Mr. Rome? It appears we've run out of time, as I'm getting bored, and quite frankly, listening to you is like pulling teeth, so I'm just going to cut the interview short. Let this be a lesson, kids, in how dangerous fanboyism is. It's honestly insane people listen to someone this stupid, but then again, King Thrash has an audience, so I guess I shouldn't be surprised. And Rome, I see you typing there. So before you leave a brain-dead comment asking for royalties, be sure to read up on fair use law. You know, after you finish learning your multiplication tables. Anyways, that's it for me. To stay up to date on all things crab, you can follow me on Twitter via the link in the description below. And if you're interested, you can join my Discord via the link in the description below. And I'll see you all in the next video.